And that's why I'm also taking you along with me on my journey, and you being able to see my growth, walk along with me on this journey of keeping it unapologetically real. We're growing together, and that's really where my victory comes, because my victory comes in seeing you grow from learning from my experiences. Hey family, my name is Dara Abimbola. I'm a British Nigerian international student studying here at Franklin and Marshall College in the United States of America. Here we keep it unapologetically real. The just live by faith. Then the Lord answered me and said, "Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Today I am talking about how I got into college in the USA as an international student. I think this is a long-awaited video. Actually it is. It's 2.5 years in the waiting, nearly 3 years in the waiting. Actually by the time I post this video, I think it will officially be 3 years that I've been in the USA. So that's very exciting. We thank God.
I don't like your tone.
I'm sure you are. How's that?
Just do your job.
So I opened up with a scripture about writing the vision. And that's really where my journey started. It started from a vision. When I was 10 years old, I watched Legally Blonde and I saw Elle Woods. And I watched the video, I watched Legally Blonde and I was like, Elle Woods, I'm that girl. I'm like, yes, the pink, the everything. I'm gonna go to Harvard.
You go where?
Harvard. Law school.
You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard?
Little did I know, in Harvard undergrad or Harvard College, they don't have a business program. So that dream eventually became very short-lived, but the fact that I wanted to go so badly, it rooted me so deeply that nobody and nothing could ever take away that dream from me. The only person that believed in me to come to the USA was my grandma. And my grandma had passed away. And the day that my grandma had passed away was the day that I had to submit my application for the Sutton Trust Fulbright program. If you don't know what that program is, it's a program that helps students from low-income backgrounds to study in the USA to complete their higher education in America. And how I found that program out was through LinkedIn. I was emailing every single person, following everybody in LinkedIn that I saw started off in the UK and ended up in the USA. And I came across this one, I forgot his name, but he's Spanish. And he was a person that told me about the Sutton Trust program. So I knew for 2 years, this Sutton Trust program is going to happen in 2 years' time. All I knew was I need to keep my grades up and I need to get my extracurriculars. So in that time, I was doing anything and everything. And I was still so firmly rooted on the foundation of I need to go to the USA. Now, I applied for the Sutton Trust Fulbright program the day my grandma had passed away. And I was bawling in tears and I was just like, this is the last thing that I remind me of my grandma. 2 weeks later, I got an email that I'd been accepted into the program for the Sutton Trust, and a very heartfelt message giving their condolences for my grandma's passing. That was where I think it set in my heart, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm achieving my dream. I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm actually gonna go to the USA. So the journey began. I did my Common App essay. Actually, that's not where I started. I did my standardized test. Now, I'll be so honest with you. Guys, when I tell you the favor of God is upon my life, because I'll be so real, if not for COVID, I don't actually think I would have got to the USA. My test scores were so bad. My test scores were so bad. It wasn't even funny. Like, I did my ACT. Bear in mind, I barely studied for the thing. I think the highest is like 40. Is it 40? Or 36. It's 36. So my friend is here. I think it's a 36. So let's just say the scores I was applying for, I needed to get in 33s upwards. My score, my total score probably ended up being it was in the range of high 20s, low 30s. So to me, that's bad. Bearing in mind, if I get a B, I start crying. So that's how you understand my mindset of what I deem to be a bad grade. So to me, my score was very bad. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going into Harvard at this grade. It doesn't even make any sense. Around that time, it was test optional. So I opted out of giving my results. Then we had A-levels. Around that time in A-levels, I started living by myself. I had my own house, and then I moved out of my house, and then I was living in an apartment. Bearing in mind, I was working 2 jobs as well, and I'm in school, and I have bills to pay. So there was a lot going on, and I still want to go to the USA. So I had so much going on in my mind, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I actually going to do this? It's 4:40 right now, and I'm on my way to work. At times like this is where I just question life, and I really wonder why. Or not just like why me? Why do I always have to go above and beyond? Or why do I have to wake up 4:40 to go to work? 17, doing what a literal adult does. And then at the end of the day, you don't realise that your own journey is not the same for a reason. You don't do things that people do for a reason. And it's okay. We learn from those lessons and keep on moving on. Period. God just kept me. There were so many times where I was just like crying my eyes out, and I didn't even know what I was going to do next. But I just stood firm on God. I know what you've told me. I know what I've seen. I know what I want. I know you will do it for me. So I did my tests, ED1. So that's early decision. That's the first round when you apply for schools. You have a binding contract. So if you get into the school on a binding contract, that's it, you're in. So you have 2 rounds. Early decision 1, early decision 2. Then the last round is regular decision. So ED1, I applied for UPenn. Now, the only reason I was applying for UPenn was truly because at the time I hadn't met my biological dad, and I found out that he was living near Pennsylvania. So I only applied for schools in the eastern region because I was like, yeah, you know what? This is my chance. I get to meet him. It'll be so cool. And then I remember I was reading my Bible one day, and then I think I was in Revelations, and I saw Philadelphia in the Bible. And I was like, that's the sign. That means I'm going to go to UPenn because UPenn's in Philly. Guys. You know what's really funny? I love the way, like, as Christians, we gaslight ourselves into, like, yeah, you know, I saw this sign, so it's mine. That doesn't mean it can't be your sign, but I was definitely, looking back on it, I was really being silly. But it's okay, because it kept me going, you know, so we need that. Sometimes we need the delusion. What's that with that phrase? Keeping it delulu?
Remember, y'all, staying delulu is the salulu.
Yeah, there we go. We kept it delulu. All right, so... we had the whole Philly phase, and I was like, that's it, I'm gonna be a Wharton scholar. And that was my mindset. Everything in my life was Wharton. I changed all my passwords to Wharton. My passwords are not Wharton anymore, so don't try to hack me because you can't. I changed my passwords. Yeah. Anywho, at the time, all my passwords are Wharton because I had this mindset of, if you see it, you believe it. Kind of like, I'm manifesting it, so to say. But not all that shakra manifesting. I don't do that stuff. Yeah. And I'm just coming to give an early testimony in crazy faith. I'm a Wharton scholar! I am in the UPenn class of 2026. Anywho, so I changed my passwords to Wharton, and I was really like connecting with everybody, only for me to get deferred. And my heart broke down. My heart completely broke down. Welcome, Diary of a Wharton Scholar. Today is Penn Decision Day. It's currently 17/12/2021, 17th of December 2021 at 00 a.m. Let's check. Oh my gosh, I feel sick. Oh, deferred. Okay. Calm. Alright, good. I've been deferred, but it's alright. Listen, patient endurance. Yeah. We then get round to ED2, and my advisor had really urged me to apply for Franklin and Marshall College. And I was just like, I don't know what F&M is. I searched it up, and I'll be so real with you guys. Like I said, we keep it unapologetically real here. The first thing I said was, there's no black people. That was the first thing I said to my advisor, and I'm like, and bearing in mind, I'm not the type of person that really cares too much about if there are people that look like me when I'm going into a new environment. But I think that was the first time I was like, no, I don't even see not one black person. And I think what really put me off was just the horses and the buggies. And I said, yeah, I don't know. I had this really warped mindset of what Lancaster looked like. Eventually, I got over myself because I do love horse riding. So that was the thing that kept me. And I was like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I can go on a farm on the weekends and go for horse riding. So that was really what kind of changed my mind. But the pivotal thing that changed my thinking was I was at church and I was leading worship. I saw this boy. He doesn't normally like coming to church. And he came and he sat at the front. So it was really weird to actually see him sit at the front. And on his collar, he had Franklin and Marshall College. And it was like a circle logo, so Franklin and Marshall. Bearing in mind, at the time, I didn't know that Franklin and Marshall was a clothing line. In my heart, like, I'm leading worship and I'm smiling at this guy. So he thinks I'm weird because he's like, why is this girl smiling at me? Why is she looking at me so weird? And I'm like, this is my sign. And in my heart, I heard it so loudly. And it was like, this is your school. This is your school. In the inside of me, I broke down because I was like, wow, this is it. So I applied for Franklin and Marshall. By the grace of God, I got in. But as you'll see in this upcoming video, I was not happy. I was not happy at all. Ooh, status update. I got in. I don't know how to feel. Let me check my financial aid letter because, yeah. I could actually afford to go. Loan, God forbid, I have to pay back 20,000 in debt. That's bit. I don't know how to feel. This has been the plan. 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 Okay, so now you've seen the video, you can see I really wasn't happy at all. I was very upset at getting into Franklin and Marshall because it wasn't part of my dream. It wasn't part of the plan I had for myself. And God quickly showed me that it's not about you. After taking some time to think, I just realized that I am really, really happy. Damn nights I spent shouting, die by fire, enemies die, God please,
No. Receive the glory.
Here I am, be so ungrateful, like, oh, you know, but UPenn, you know, everyone is getting to UPenn. No, Franklin and Marshall, F&M, period. So it's a blessing for the school to have me, and it's a blessing for me to be part of their alumni. It's not about you. You don't know what I have there for. You don't know what I want to do for you. You don't know how I want to use you in that school. So I just had to keep on going. So let's get to the journey from me actually getting to the airport to F&M. And this will just show you how God really ordained my steps every step of the way. When I got to the airport, bear in mind, there's this lovely lady, I call her Auntie Emma. She's like my adopted mom. She's so cool. I didn't actually know I needed money to come to the US. So she was a person that drove me down to the airport because I was planning to take the train to get to the airport. She drove me down, she gave me money. And the amount that she gave me, I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay. But I was very grateful to God, and I was very grateful for her, just her generosity. I remember she took me to the security lane. Once we got to that point, she like held me. She looked at me. She was like, I can't follow you anymore. And I was like, and it made me pause, and I was like, what do you mean you can't follow me? She said, yeah, we're at the checkpoint now. You need to go. And I could see all the other students with their parents, and you could tell they were studying abroad. Their parents are hugging them. She gave me a hug, And literally, I burst into tears. And there was this lady behind me. I'm getting emotional now talking about it. But oh my gosh, if she watches this video, Auntie Emma, I love you so, so much. And I'm so grateful just for your impact in my life. God bless you, you're so amazing. But yeah, she gave me a hug. And in that moment, it sunk in. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally accomplishing my dream. Like, I didn't really like register in my mind that I'm doing this, but it sunk in, and I'm like, okay, we're going. And I was in the airport going through it, and I'm just crying. And then like after like my 2 minutes of tears, I was like, right, Dara, suck it up, you're fine. Another sign that I knew God was with me, one of the girls that, she was like a mentor to me. As I was coming out of the security line, like when you check your TSA, I saw her. She was traveling on holiday. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, bear in mind, I haven't seen each other in like 3 months. I was like, oh my gosh, where are you going? She's like, yeah, I'm traveling. She's like, oh my gosh, you're going to the USA? I'm like, yeah. And I gave her a hug, and she wished me well. And that was like a second sign that I took of, oh wow, you're sending me people along the way that are like encouraging me as I'm doing this journey. Yeah, God is so good. So I took my first flight. Now, my first flight, the second flight I had to take was cancelled. Now, I am in this airport. I have I have some money on me. My phone is about to die. And I literally walk up to somebody and I said, listen, my flight's been cancelled. They're telling me I need to pay for another flight. I don't have any money. I don't have like the family to rely on. I need you to help me out. And there was a lady at the airport, she paid. God is so good. And that's how, like, as I say this, like, guys, how can you not believe in God? Oh my gosh. Like, as I say this, it sounds like crazy, but it was like a dream. She paid for me to get from the New Jersey one to New York, the taxi. And then she also paid for my flight that got cancelled. She paid for my flight to go from JFK to Lancaster, because I went to Lancaster Airport. I think it was like LNC, something like that. And when that happened, my heart sunk, and I'm like, God, you're so good. I was in complete shock and awe, and I'm like, there are people in this world that do this. And that's how we get to having the confidence to also ask and advocate for yourself, because I remember I slept in the airport overnight. I even think I have a video. I might insert it as well. My flight is cancelled. All I can do is just, I just find it. Alright guys, update. So I'm still in the airport. It's currently 11:24, so it should be about 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. your time. I'm just really tired. I'm really waiting for these men to arrive so I can get my flight sorted. But I slept in the airport overnight, and the entire time I was just thinking, I'm like, God, like, please, we got this far. We can't stop now. Like, please help me out. And he helped me out by the grace. Now, when we got to Lancaster Airport, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy a US SIM in the airport and book an Uber. That wasn't working. I didn't really understand VPN and all that stuff. My app store wasn't even working. Nothing was working at all. And I was like, oh Lord, my God, how am I going to do this? Then there's a girl and she notices me. She's like, oh, are you going to F&M? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm going too. We took an Uber together. Oh God, it's so good. We took an Uber together. The exact amount that Auntie Emma gave me, the exact amount in cash that she gave me, was the exact amount that I needed to be able to pay that girl, to give her my cut for the Uber. Bear in mind, the Ubers from Lancaster Airport to my school were not cheap. They were not cheap. And as I'm in the car, I'm like, wow, God, you have ordained every single step. And even in my heart of hearts, I was still kind of like, but it's not watered. God was like, but I'm not telling you. Maybe yes, water may be in your future, but it's not right now. I need F&M for you right now. And God just, when something is meant for you, you know it's for you. And when something is meant for you, there's an ease at which it comes with that it cannot be explained. And that's, I'm so grateful to God for the entire experience. So yeah, that is my journey of how I came from the UK to the US. A very, 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 very condensed version. There are some bits and bobs here and there, but we're grateful to God. Okay, now let's get into a bit more uplifting things. My journey about Wharton, I did actually end up going to Wharton, but not the Wharton I expected to. God put a desire in me to work with younger women, work with young girls specifically. And I think the reason was there was a part in me that needed to be healed. And that's what I was saying in the first video. Go back and watch if you haven't already. It's going to be up here or here. And in my healing, I realized it was the younger child in me that needs to be healed. And the school I ended up working at was called Wharton. And I didn't actually realize it. I didn't realize it until I got there and I was like, oh my gosh, I finally went to Wharton. I was meant to go to Wharton. It wasn't the way I expected to go. Then there was another lady in the USA, I'm going to call her Bethany, but her last name was Wharton. And when I first came to the US, I needed a house to stay at. And we did something called the Turkey Trot. And when she signed me up for the marathon, so Turkey Trot is like a marathon that you do the day of Thanksgiving in the USA. When I signed up for the marathon, she put my name under her family name. So when I received my certificate, my award, it said Dara Wharton. I was like, who's Dara Wharton? And she said, yeah, our family's called the Whartons. And my heart dropped and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, God, you're so cool. I'm like, God, you're so cool, because only you can do that. Only you can just put things in a way where I can't even dispute that it's you. And God is too good. God is too good. But yeah, that is my journey to the USA. If this journey resonated with you, guys, please comment, please like, please subscribe, and please share with somebody. If you're coming to F&M, shoot me a message, DM me on Instagram, comment down below. Yeah, and let me know what video you want to see next. Keeping it unapologetically real. It's Dara. Bye, guys.